So I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Sri Raghuram Natarajan sir. Okay. So good afternoon to all of you. So Sri Raghuram Natarajan sir obtained his PhD from Uttara University, Hyderabad and holds an MBA. He has 20 years of working experience in Ecomark Limited, Hyderabad, the state of packaging. He worked as business head for specialized cotton division and specialized pouching division. Presently, he is a founder and director of Recykloplast Solutions Private Limited, with a mission to offer innovative solutions in recycling plastics and waste management. So this is a startup company established during the pandemic period. So he is a master Black Belt Six Sigma trainer and an expert in hand-holding MSME companies in business excellence initiatives. So he also served as a business consultant at Enrich Solutions, Secunderabad. So now I request Sri Raghuram Natarajan sir to deliver his lecture. Please come to the dais, sir. I request Shivakaran sir to present a memento and a plant to Raghuram Natarajan sir.
Thank you very much, madam, for the introduction. And good afternoon, students, faculty, and distinguished gathering of respected speakers. I also don't believe in, having a kind of a template kind of a presentation. So my presentation would be more extempore. So I would like to make it more interactive and participative. So request everybody to make a note of it and help me to make you understand what I do and why I do. I come from a printing packaging background, as madam has explained. I have worked for a MNC company for almost 20 plus years, large MNC company. So when we say packaging, what do you guys understand about packaging? What do you know about packaging? So anybody would like to answer? Anything and everything which you touch in your daily life in some form or the other, you would be using a packaged product. Can you imagine a life without a packaged product any day? No. So packaging and packaged products have become an integral part of our life. Agree? Yes. What are they made out of? Plastics, different varieties of plastics. Yeah. Yes. So multi-layer plastics, laminates. So now on a global perspective, what's the estimate of the total plastic materials consumption on an annual basis? Any guesses? Any figure? Total plastic consumption on an annual basis. You guys are all supposed to be chemical engineers, must be having this kind of information as a ready reckoner. Okay, no problem. So it's about 500 million tons of plastic is being used on an annual basis. We were about 250, 290 about 5-6 years back, but on a year-on-year basis, we have been increasing. And going forward, we are also going to see more and more usage of plastics. But the question is, why do we use plastic? And out of which my focus area would be 35%. Why this 35%? Because this 35% of the total plastic is used in making multi-layer plastic packaging material. And my focus area is in the field of packaging because I have a packaging experience. So I have been making packaging materials. I have been associated with various big brands and even startup companies who would like to project their brand identity, who would like to ensure that their product is properly packaged and reaches out to the customers. So you name any brand, Indian grown brand or an FMCG company, in the last 20, 30 years, they were able to reach out to nook and corner of the country only because they had, access to packaging material. Why? Because it was very simple, very, very easy. You can't imagine, transporting something in glass bottles or in metal containers. It's very easy to pack in a pouch and hand it over. And you name it, like for example, Lay's or Haldiram or, these companies. Haldiram has grown only because they were able to reach out. The Halwai able to reach out across the country and sell their product is only because of the innovative multi-layer laminates which we have been offering to them. But the concern here is multi-layer is so easy, very easy to make, easy to run on the packing lines, very, very convenient for the consumers to pick up multi-layer pack, the chips packet or a kurkure packet or a Haldiram aloo bhujia packet. You can very easily pick it up. From very small pack of 5 rupees, 10 rupees, you can have a bigger pack of almost like a half a kg or a 1 kg. Very, very easy. And it's very easy to use it also. Convenient to carry. It offers various kinds of conveniences. And thereby, what has happened? It has become a kind of an integral part of our life. Right? So tomorrow, if we say that Haldiram would stop giving you aloo bhujia, they will just put it in a glass jar and then say that, you go and buy whatever you want to buy, 50 grams, 100 grams, in a kind of a paper bag. How many of you would be interested in that? Will you be interested in doing that? Picking it up in loose quantity? No, you would like to have a sealed pack because you want to ensure that the sealed pack contains the product with the required shelf life. Because what is offering, the multi-layer laminates are offering that shelf life. It's whether 6 months or 9 months or 1 year. When you say best before so and so, so and so, it is offering that shelf life. Today, we are in an urban city having access to best of the food. But what about an army Jawan somewhere in a Siachen glacier? Does he have access to hot food? Does he have access to, hygienic, good, nutritious food? It's only because of the packaging material where, we have come out with something called as retout pouches, where a ready-to-eat product in cooked condition can be packed and stored for a period of 1 year. And the person there is just able to heat up and eat that product. It is that convenient. But then we are not here to talk about packaging material, but we are here to talk about the effect of packaging material post-consumption. Because that's the topic for the day. So 35% of 500 million. So you can imagine what is the volume of packaging material which is being used across the globe. There are other materials. You will have a lot of materials. Let's say a PET bottle or a kind of a plastic container, a rigid plastic, various kinds of products which are made out of plastics. In its original form, that is in its monomer form, can be comfortably recycled, and recycling has been happening. But when it comes to a multi-layer plastic, so when we say multi-layer, there are at least minimum 2 to 4 or almost close to about 5 layers of various films, non-homogeneous in nature, which are fused together to make that packaging. So if you have a chips packet in hand, please be rest assured there are 4 layers in that. 4 different layers with different chemical properties. Now what happens? It's very light, very easy. So you consume your product, whatever you want to consume, and then you find a way to dispose it off. Since it's very light, do they offer any kind of reusable nature, reusable property? Can you use a chips packet again to store something? No, not possible. So you dispose it off. Where do you dispose it off? Just dump it in a kind of a trash can. What happens? The kabadi wala could take a broken chair. The kabadi wala could pick up a, maybe, even a PET bottle he can pick up. Ask a kabadi wala to pick up your chips packets. He will not, because there is no value in it. He doesn't see any value, because it's more of a pain, it's more of a hassle to take all these materials and then take it somewhere where it can be properly used. That's where I come in as one of the people who are trying to look at opportunities in the field of recycling of multi-layer plastics, which is a challenge, not very easy, but then that's what we have been trying to do in the last 2 years' time. Since we do understand the nuances of how this multi-layer plastics are made, because we have been working here almost for 20 plus years, so we thought we could take up the responsibility of addressing this multi-layer issue. Because out of the 35%, hardly fractional percentage is being recycled. Rest of it is all getting into either landfill and dumps, or these days there is opportunities which are available where you can take it to cement plant and burn it. You can incinerate it, or you can take these multi-layer films and mix it with bitumen and use it for road construction. That's also possible. Or there is one more process which is there, which is to convert this into oil, through a process called as pyrolysis. But all these processes, what is happening is it is creating an opportunity for effective disposal. But there is no recycling and upcycling which is coming into play. And 35% of 500 million tons is a lot of material. Unless and until we find suitable technologies, suitable methodologies by which we can recycle and put this multi-layers into some kind of an effective use. So in that endeavor, we have started our own R&D center, just about 50 kilometers away from Bangalore in Tumkur, where we are doing recycling of multi-layer films. We are trying to create some value-added products. It's just a humble beginning. We're trying to make fencing poles. We're trying to make some furniture, door frames, window frames, wooden, pallets being replaced by this multi-layer pallets. Some small initiatives we are taking in this direction. But this has to become a large, activity, a large amount of people have to come forward and take up the role of getting this multi-layer plastics recycled into value-added products. Only then we will be in a position to create a kind of a sustained kind of an opportunity, a business opportunity also, but at the same time, a scientific opportunity of creating some value proposition and thereby reduce indirectly maybe other products. Like if I make a furniture out of multi-layer plastics, then obviously my wood consumption would go down, or some other products consumption would go down. Yeah. So my submission to the faculty and submission to all the students here is, you people are studying about polymers in your curriculum, and there's a lot of talk about the applications of various polymers. But how much exposure do you get in the field of utilizing these polymers as a recycled material? I'm not very sure about what's the curriculum about. How recycling is being addressed in your curriculum. But in terms of an opportunity, it is the most, I would say, the latest field where you can do a lot of research, come out with a lot of opportunities, and recycle plastic products, create a kind of a organized mechanism of recycling. Because today what is happening is all the recycling companies, so-called recycling organizations, they are all mostly in the unorganized sector. So it's a very, very informal sector which is handling the recycling. Not many organizations, large organizations, yes, there are some initiatives which are being taken by the government of India, and some of the organizations are coming forward because of the various new rules which have been put by the Central Pollution Control Board on EPR, which is called as Extended Producer Responsibility. And organizations are taking initiative, but long way to go. So there's a long way to go where we can create a sustainable kind of an environment only when we address the issue of multi-layered laminates. First and foremost thing is, today when you guys go back, make sure that you do not mix your multi-layer laminates with other wet food and dispose it off as garbage with the garbage wala. First and foremost thing is, in a dry, clean condition, please start doing the segregation, because that is the first source from where we will be in a position to take it to the next level, where proper segregation, if it happens, then recycling can happen. There are ways and means where we can do the recycling. But if it is mixed, contaminated, then recycling cannot happen. It becomes a challenge. Yeah. Yeah.
See, in spite of desegregating, ultimately it gets mixed up.
Yes. So that's the irony of what we are facing at this point of time. So if I want multi-layer laminate to come to me, it has to come to me in a clean condition. It should not come with a wet condition, where it poses a bigger challenge. And that is the reason it is discouraging people not to go for recycling of multi-layer. But if we don't address this issue, because this is a burning issue globally, if we don't address this issue, now this is going to become a big nightmare. And madam, I'm sure you will also agree with me that multi-layer plastics is posing a serious threat to the water bodies, and it's creating a health hazard across the globe. So this is where we stand. How many of you are going to commit yourself to do something in the field of recycling? Raise your hands. What do you want to do? Some ideas. I just gave you some ideas, but then we can I'll have a 2 minutes discussion on this. Let's see what kind of ideas are being put. Because you're all youngsters, young minds, full of energy, enthusiasm. You want to do something different for the society. You want to do something challenging. So what would you like to do? How would you like to be participating in this recycling revolution? What would you like to do? Raise of hands. Any concerns? Yeah. Yes.
So basically, the bottle, the glass bottle, you have a segregation of that. You get cash in the glass.
Yeah.
So why isn't that technology being used for that?
It's already there. I do in my organization also. I do promote something called as reverse vending machines, which is primarily to address the PET bottle waste, and we have installed in various public places. It's in the nascent state, but definitely going forward, we would like to have more number of vending machines where the PET bottle gets collected. It's shredded into small flakes, and the flakes which is collected is made into fabric, and we make sports jerseys out of the PET bottle waste which has been collected. And we have been installing these machines in various army battalions and army camps, and also in public places like railway stations, bus stations. Also, we have been installing these machines. But yes, definitely there is a lot of opportunity of installing in various places, but we are at an early stage of it.
So is the technology the same?
Yes, yes. So you have a reward mechanism. So the person who's depositing the PET bottle gets definitely rewarded. And at the same time, it creates an opportunity for taking the waste in a proper way and taking it for recycling. Good that you've asked this question. Thank you.
I think we should start in our college.
Yes. 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 In fact, just today, one machine is being sent to Madras Engineering Group, which is Madras Sappers, the cantonment. So there we are sending one machine so that the entire cantonment area, which is under the army, so they will be in a position to address this PET bottle issue.
So how much the machine would cost?
Madam, that will take it offline. So let's not. Yeah, but we'll definitely discuss on this. Any other questions I would like to? Any other questions? Yeah, please.
So, as you mentioned, like this MFP products doesn't have any value, so these commodities are like refusing to get it.
Yes.
So, any product which has a value is invested by us. If plastic has a value, we are investing value to it.
Correct.
If rubbers has a value, like we are investing. So, likewise, why don't the companies that use these packaging materials invest some value to those products so that I don't think people remember like where we used to collect all these milk packets.
Correct.
And they used to sell it for like a kg of like 10 rupees or something back in those days.
Yes.
Nowadays we don't do that because they don't take glass bottles to run out right now. But if these companies are able to make a system or some policy where they could collect back the same products, it would add some value to this MLPs.
Right.
So which will eventually lead to collection or segregation of that product.
Very good idea. Very good idea. Very good suggestion. But tell me one thing, all the ladies and everybody who are using, these kind of MLP, will they take the pain of preserving it? Because see what happens is the average weight of a multi-layer pouch, let's say a typical 20 rupee Lay's chips packet, it weighs anywhere between 3.5 to 4 grams. Now you keep collecting these chips packets, 30, 40, 50, and then slowly it will become 1 kg. Then that packet you will go and sell it somewhere, or you'll go and hand it over. The value would be about 5 rupees, 6 rupees, 10 rupees. So how many of you would be interested in that 10 rupees, collection pain, and then taking it forward for? In abroad, what happens is they mark up the MRP price. Let's say today your chips packet is costing 20 rupees. Now it will be sold for 40 rupees. So 20 rupees, when you return back this empty pouch, you will get back your 20 rupees. So when you do that, so then what happens is there is a pinch that I will even one pouch, I can hand it over and take back my pouch. Now in India, to enforce that kind of a scenario would be a challenge. Because what happens is the basic price goes up. Because we need to factor in the collection mechanism, the whole process has to be factored. Because if I have to give a reward or if an incentive back or a kind of, it's like a deposit, even in Uttarakhand and in some of the places, you have to, there is a deposit which is collected. If you go and litter it, then you will lose your deposit, 500 rupees, 1,000, something, they do that. But otherwise, you must have some kind of an incentive. So that means, are you willing to spend that extra money and then get it back? Religiously, you can hand it over and then you can take it back. If people are willing to do that, then definitely this is a very viable kind of a way in which at least we can ensure a decent percentage of MLP laminates could be collected in a clean condition. But otherwise, we are so busy and we are, just not bothered. Yaar, chodo yaar, 20 rupees, just dump it and then get away. So that concern, it is not that 20 rupees, which I'll get back. It is not that, but that concern that I have to give it back to a proper source who will take it for a proper recycling mechanism. That social concern also has to come in the minds of the people. So then we can have all the supermarkets, wherever the packaging products are being sold, we can say that, okay, we'll have a collection mechanism at every supermarket come and deposit and then take back your refund or something. That can be always done. But in the rural areas, a country like India, putting these mechanisms is a challenge. So what we are trying to do is work very closely with the collection agencies and ULB, urban local bodies, to make sure that their proper segregation happens, and in a reasonably clean condition, we get the multi-layer plastics. Of course, there would be a lot of processing which would be done to make it usable and to produce some kind of innovative products. But as students, please ensure that you give a thought to the field of recycling and sustainability, because you are going to be the torch bearers of the country. You're going to be the future citizens. Now, unless and until you are very clear that, yes, I need to look at recycling. So when I talk about polymers, then I also need to know what are the properties of the polymers, how these polymers can be recycled, and what are the life cycle of all these polymers, and how I can help in creating a kind of a circular kind of an economy. I'm not sure how many of you post your academics would be interested in working in industry, or would you be shifting into a kind of a software or more lucrative fields? Because that's the irony today. We have everybody going towards software, but we're not having qualified people who would put in their heart and soul, do some primary research, and come out with some unique solutions. That's a humble submission from my side, that we need more and more technocrats, more and more engineers to come forward and look at innovative ways, because this field is such a large field and creates a lot of opportunity, and definitely it's monetary wise also it can be really fetching, but provided somebody takes interest and initiative. So with this, I end my talk, and I'm open for any other further questions for last 1 minute before I hand over the dais.
Any other questions? Maybe sometime we can visit your unit, sir.
Yes, why not? Definitely. So most welcome to come and see my unit, where we do recycling, and you would be surprised the kind of products what we have made. And we make vegetable crates out of biscuit wrappers. We make glass-topped teapot using chips packets and kurkure packets. We make fencing poles, door frames, window frames, a lot of innovative items. And going forward, more and more innovative items. And my mission is, at least I should be in a position to offer 50 plus different varieties of products made exclusively from a very low value multi-layer plastics. Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. And we look forward for more and more participative and interactive sessions. All the very best for you guys. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, sir, for that insightful talk. Definitely plastic is one item which is posing a great threat to the environment. I think you all would agree for that. So to start with, maybe, you can carry your own boxes for, packaging, food items from hotels, or carry your own cloth bags. That's what I do it regularly. I am very particular about all these things. So as youngsters, even you all should implement, implementation is the key here. So unless, we hear so many lectures, so many talks, unless it starts from the self, nothing can happen. So start implementing at your house and everything will fall in place. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that wonderful talk.